You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. Before we dive into this powerful episode, please remember to subscribe to our channels and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes to continue hustling. This episode is sponsored by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, True Weight Solutions, The 100-Year Lifestyle, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Ultimate Entrepreneur Opportunity, BrainTap, Sherman College of Chiropractic, SCED, ChiroPro Accounting, and Midwest Brain Health Technology. Let's hustle!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 252 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I am your co-host Luke Millette, and here's your host Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Danny DeReuter, and if you want to hear the story of fast food to chiropractor, stay tuned. All right, guys, so this is episode, what number, Luke?
252.
252 episodes of the Chiro Hustle podcast. And today we have Dr. Danny DeReuter coming in from
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Awesome. And Luke and I are coming in from Grand Junction, Colorado, which is the Grand Valley on the western slope of the state, which is closer to Utah than to Denver. And off of camera, you said that you're closer to Ontario or Toronto, Canada than you are to
Memphis. Although I'm in the same state.
And I said the things that you learn being a podcaster. So, you sent over this really impressive bio. I don't usually say that about most people. One time I got like a bio and it was like 18 pages, and that wasn't impressive because that's 18 pages of me reading somebody's like line item of everything they've ever done since like kindergarten. And but you have a really cool story, and I just wanted to be able to share that with people today. I know that we were doing some of that share before this started, but can you just share with people how you got into chiropractic and a little bit about your chiropractic story?
All right. Well, I was, before I was into chiropractic, I was interested in natural health somehow, but I didn't know exactly what. But anyway, I was and I was floundering in my life. I had tried every job, and at the time I was a fast food restaurant manager, and I probably worked in fast food a total of like 10 years, and this one time I was telling the kids at Wendy's to change the special sign. We had the roadside sign, and every month or I think it was every week, we would change the special. So I told the guys, go ahead and put whatever special we were doing. And, kids are going to mess around and not do things the way you wanted it to do. And so finally I got really angry. I'm like, whatever, get down from there. I'm going to get up there and do it myself. So I climbed up on the ladder, and I lost my balance and I fell. And when I fell, I think I landed and I took some ribs out. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what was going on. I just told somebody, call 911 because I'm dying here. I can't breathe. And then one of the girls that worked with me, she's like, well, there's a chiropractor right around the corner. I can call up and see if he will see you. I'm like, whatever, just I need help, whatever it is. And she called, and the guy's like, yeah, I'll wait for him. And it was like 6:30 in the evening. And right away, I'm like, what kind of doctor waits, it's 6:30 in the evening. Who's there? So I show up, and he was by himself, very nice old guy. And he took care of me. And right away I felt better. And after, I guess, several visits throughout that month, I remember he was doing some weird stuff that I thought was weird. I realized it was applied kinesiology now, but he was telling me about my adrenal glands, and I'm like, how is that possible? How does he know what's going on with me? This is so cool. And I remember saying, I wish this is the coolest job in the world. I wish I could do that. And that's when I heard a voice outside of myself that said, well, why don't you? And I nearly fell off the chair. But I managed to get out of the office without I didn't say anything. I just kind of kept it together, and I walked out of the office. And in those days, you had to, if you needed to get information, you had to go to the library because you couldn't get online. So there was no internet back then. So this was like 90, 91, 92 maybe. So so I went to the library and I went through the card catalog and I found chiropractic schools. And I remember I wrote to them and they sent me their catalogs. And at the time I was doing geographic, what's the closest to the radius and I was in Miami, Florida. And, what's the closest there? There's only one school that at the time, it was Life in Marietta. So I wrote to them. I did write a couple places that I thought would have been cool to go to, like Portland and Iowa. I didn't think it would be cool to see, so I skipped that one. So so I remember Life wrote me back, and I got accepted, and within 3 months I rented a U-Haul and I just left everything and moved to Georgia to start my new life.
I love your story.
So what would you say are some things that make you unique in the chiropractic world?
Well, I've always been attracted to just strange stuff. So whenever there was a technique that was a little different, a little weird, I would always gravitate to that. But again, I'm not a how would you say? At the time, you had your chiropractors who would wear Birkenstocks and tie-dye T-shirts, and those guys were attracted to those techniques. But I wasn't. That wasn't me. So I'm very, I guess you could say, mainstream. But I was into all that stuff. So and I've learned. I try to stick to things that are eclectic. I guess eclectic type of techniques. And that's worked pretty well for me, I think, over all these years.
Well, after reading your bio, one of my favorite things that you say on here is that I have two beautiful daughters, Audrey and Chloe, and they are not impressed by anything written about me on this page.
Which, if you have kids, you understand that completely. They're like, "Oh my God, Dad, whatever."
And like your bio, I mean, people will see this when we publish your piece, but just getting it gave me it just made me feel good to learn about you from your written word. So kudos to you for writing, or whoever wrote this for you. It's really well done.
Well, that was really me. I'm not like you. You have a whole staff that writes stuff for you, and this is me, man.
I love it. So knowing that, what keeps you motivated? Do you have any motivational quotes or mantras that keep you fired up as a chiropractor?
My favorite, I mean, I have the post, I have the truth from BJ Palmer. That's one of my favorite ones. But the one that when you asked me this question, because he sent me the questions ahead of time, and I'm going to read it just because I want to get it right. I will sell chiropractic, serve chiropractic, if it will, oh God, I can't even get through it without choking up. I will serve chiropractic if it will take me 20 lifetimes to do it. I will promote it within the law, without the law, damn it, in keeping with the law or against the law, in order to get sick people well and keep the well from getting sick. BJ Palmer.
I feel the chills, brother.
But I've always, even the first time I read that, it was just like, I got chills. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I feel.
So that's why you've been doing what you've been doing for the past 23 years.
Yep. Even when it feels like you're the only one that's doing this, you're in a whole sea of, medicine and chemicals and you're the only one that's preaching this stuff. And that keeps me going.
Well, it's an honor for us to be able to do what we do and connect with doctors like yourself so frequently, because I just took an immersion in chiropractic over the past 12 years. And Luke and I were not chiropractors, but it's so powerful to hear the passion behind the practitioner's voice and to be able to let you elevate your voice through what we create. So thank you for sharing so candidly for us.
Thank you. And if you know me, I will get choked up at pretty much anything. That's just me.
Well, so I don't feel special then.
No, but of course,
Thanks,
it's
bro.
just for
Thanks.
you. Yeah, just for you.
So you said that, we're in a world that's surrounded by chemicals and drugs, and you kind of wave your own flag out there. Let's just talk a little bit about the chiropractic profession and what it would mean if everybody actually took the opportunity that didn't get injured, actually, to come in and see a chiropractor and get checked and adjusted if needed.
And I really believe that if every like I feel we need chiropractors in the ER, because I'd say at least half of the people that walk into the ER just need an adjustment, and they'd feel better, and they will be better. Because you go in the ER, they just look at you and run up some bills and then give you ibuprofen and send you home. If on a good day. So if we had chiropractors in every ER, that would be huge. That would be a huge accomplishment because you'd actually be helping people in the hospital. But if everybody in the world got adjusted, what you got to understand, if there are forces, that we could visualize this, but to somebody else, that's like, oh my gosh, that's a worst case scenario. Like big pharma or something like that. If everybody in the world got adjusted, the need for chemicals and drugs and all this stuff goes down dramatically. And like BJ said, we could empty the and it's going to sound a little extreme there. Empty the jails and empty the asylums and all that stuff. Because I really think. We can do it. We have that capacity to, well, I shouldn't say we do. The body's amazing, and all the body needs is a little bit of help to get it to where it needs to be, and that's where we come in. And people say, well, how can you get to see all these weird cases and all these, things that other chiropractors don't see? And it's because I want that. I expect that. I want to be, I want to be the guy. I don't want to work on the 55-year-old guy with back pain. I mean, I do it, but that doesn't get me up in the mornings. I want to see the kid that had trouble with digestion and has been to all sorts of doctors, and it goes in the morning and you just adjust them and they're fine. They're fine the next day, and the mom calls you crying. That's what I want to see. I suffer from back pain myself. I mean, it's part of why I'm in this gig, but that doesn't really excite me as much as the other stuff, the miracle cases. And when you've been doing this a while, you realize it's not a miracle. It's just that we know how things work, and we can facilitate things.
Well, I love what you're just mentioning to us. And one of the things that I pre-framed this question, the blueprint of this question, like early on, was BJ Palmers Utopia. And I knew that eventually somebody along the journey of us asking this question time and time again, that somebody would say that eventually if we did it the right way, we would empty the jails and the asylums with chiropractic, just like BJ said. And, people might think, hey, I've been doing this for a long time. And, I was in a room earlier with a bunch of podcasters, and they were like asking hey, how should you format it? And I go, well, I think you should format your show the same way every time, so it's predictability for your end user, so they get familiar with what you're doing. but it also gives you a guideline for the people that you're interviewing to know that you're like holding their hand a little bit too. And I said, it's not a thing to like divert from the strategy. If you want to expand on a question that you ask, or if you want to actually be a part of the conversation as well. But I was like, people look to us to create 45-minute to an hour episodes, and they look to us to deliver a similar style product time and time again. And that's what makes it fun for us. So
Cool.
I did set that up.
So that's a pretty cool vision of the way things could be, but the way things are right now, where do you see chiropractic finding itself in about 20 years?
Well, I'm the guy that kind of wants and it's I'm going to get some hate mail for this. I want the system to kind of crumble, if you would, because that is when we will be. They'll see what works and what doesn't work. Okay, because otherwise we're just going to be relegated to back pain and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, and I have very good friends that's all they do every day. But I can go. I'm excited to go to work in the mornings. I don't know if those guys are, but I am really, really excited to go to work in the morning because it's my duty. I feel like I can't. Dang it! I feel like I can't abandon these people. These people count on me, and I have to be there for them. So that drives me. So and again, I don't know if I would feel the same way if I was just lasering lower backs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. One of the things that I want to just expand on there is we have to be careful who we give the power of decision making to. I mean, right now I'm supporting the movement up in British Columbia, and they're trying to remove x-rays from being a part of the diagnostic of a patient that goes to a chiropractic clinic. And I'm just like, that's insane to me. Number one, why would you take something away from a practitioner that's what qualifies them to actually serve and help more people with? It's like taking a blood pressure cuff away from somebody that does like intakes at hospitals. Why would you do that?
True. True.
It just doesn't make sense to me. So we have to be careful of who we give the control power to, so they're not actually bought out by the other people. Basically,
right.
I think.
And full disclosure, I don't use x-rays in my practice.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't, I don't think that the system should ever remove that from a practice that relies on that.
I agree completely. And we should be free to practice the way we see fit. And
so, yeah, I mean,
basically that's it.
I think my point more importantly is we have to be careful who we put into leadership, because a lot of the people that are sharing meals with us at the same table, God would say that they are wolves in sheep's clothing. And they have a different agenda than our kumbaya message of chiropractic being the port of entry for healthcare. They want to say, let's remove the word chiropractic out of all the schools, and let's remove subluxation and innate intelligence away from their lexicon and this and that. So I'm more at the other side of saying, hey, let's keep it for what it is and be careful who we're taking leadership from.
I agree 100%. We are a very separate and distinct healthcare profession. You cannot, but to take away the things that make us different will just relegate us to be, glorified PTs, I guess. I don't know.
Well, maybe you could tell us who some of your heroes are, who's inspired you to be the version of yourself you are today.
Well, I mean, I get a lot as far as chiropractic mentors. I mean, I have a few local mentors and people that have inspired me. One of the things you on the questionnaire said, who would you like to end up talking to one time? And I think it would be Thurman Fleet, which is the developer of Zone Technique, Zone Healing. I'd just like to pick his brain just to kind of for my own edification, for my own, progress. I feel like there's so much more that I need to learn, that I need to use for my people, for my patients, for my clients. I don't like patients, for my clients.
So have you read, I think his book was called, Rays of Dawn?
Rays of Dawn, sure. And it's not an easy book. Oh my gosh, it's not an easy book to get through. So you got to read it and reread it and underline it and go back because you didn't understand what the first chapter was, anyways. And so but it's full of amazing stuff. But it's a hard read, but it's the basis of everything.
So are you a zone practitioner?
I am. I don't like to because if you were to come from me from a zone, and I am certified and all that stuff, but if you expect a certain thing and you're not going to get that in my office. You will get a Dr. Dan adjustment, and it's always different. I don't know what I'm going to do, and sometimes I may just people like. A lot of these people, think that I'm have it all figured out, but I work very very loose and intuitively almost. That I'll pull out whatever needs to be pulled out when I know what I have in front of me. It's like, oh, I'm not going to use that on you. I'm going to use this. But having said that, the core, the foundations, they're pretty set. I mean, it's all. I'll do a lot of other stuff, but the foundation is based in zone and some network chiropractic and some basically regular chiropractic. If you just regular plain old chiropractic, bone on nerve kind of thing. Sure.
Well, I love that you're an artist, and that's what you just said in a roundabout way. You said, I'm a chiropractic artist.
I feel that way. And listen, people have their preferences, and I have two other associates with me. And, sometimes they're like, well, Dr. So-and-so doesn't adjust this way. And I'm like, yeah, of course not, because she's not me. And I said, look, listen, if you like Picasso, okay, that doesn't mean you hate Rembrandt. It's just that we're artists, but we're different. We put our personality into it, which changes what you get. So I do feel that way about an artist, about being an artist. That's funny you picked that up, because I equate myself to being an artist. Yeah.
Well, I
Does it
mean,
sound like I'm
you should be. I mean, when we were off camera, I asked you, are you the first doctor in your family? You said yes. And I think sometimes along the course of a career, people forget what that means. And I just always try to bring it back to home. Like, if I can just say, Dr. Danny, you're the first doctor in your family, what does it make you feel like? Like, well, how does that make you feel? I mean, you've been in the game for 23 years, but knowing that was like something that you like basically broke the chains of like that transition in your family line. Like, what does it feel for you to be the first doctor in your family?
Well, but again, and when I got into chiropractic, I didn't know anything. I mean, I had my little experience, but I showed up to chiropractic school. I think I even like, oh, you mean we get to be a doctor, like with a title and everything? I didn't know that. And what you mean we can see people off the, we don't need a special really? Wow, cool. But there were guys in school that were like, no, I couldn't get into medical school. That's why I'm here. Or another guy's like, well, that's I wanted to be a doctor, and this is the best and I hate those guys. The best I could do. Like, are you kidding? I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be like learning something that I'm actually passionate about. And I try not to, that DR in front of my name, that doesn't, I'm proud of it, but that doesn't define me, just, I don't let that get to my head, and I don't treat anybody differently because of it. I just I worked hard for it. I'm proud of it, but that's all.
Well, I want to take this in a little bit different direction and going back to the artist.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean for you when you like retune someone's body? And I kind of look at it like a guitar won't play right unless it's tuned properly. Maybe you could
Exactly.
speak on that a little bit about when you give people the music back in their body.
Well, the way I feel about it is if you're all, let's say you tightened all, and I'm going to use analogies because people say I love analogies. I guess I do. But imagine if you get a guitar and you just tighten all the frets, and you're only going to play one. There's only one note that's going to come out, no matter what you do, because you've got all the tension here, and But when you release the tension, that's when you get the music. That's when everything is nice and free flowing and adapting, and that's I think that's beautiful to look at it that way. It's you're freeing the body to be whatever it is it's supposed to be, and it's not for me to decide. It's your expression.
Well, I think one of the famous quotes is "Don't let the music die inside of you." You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession on the world's #1 chiropractic podcast. This episode is sponsored by Imaging Services, Chiro Health USA, Chiro Moguls, Chiropractic Rocks, True Weight Solutions, The 100-Year Lifestyle, Pure Chiro Notes, Titronics, Ultimate Entrepreneur Opportunity, BrainTap, Sherman College of Chiropractic, SCED, ChiroPro Accounting, and Midwest Brain Health Technology. Let's hustle.
Yeah. And I'm very I've been incorporating a little more. Listen, I know that whatever goes on here is expressed in your body. So I think 80% of the stuff that we see in our office has to do with what the person is thinking, what the person is projecting. So I try to have them connect to what motivates them. If you're working in a crappy job that you hate and you're coming home to partner that you don't really like anymore, are you going to be subluxated? Yes, you are. So, I will usually, touch on some things that, kind of get them to reevaluate their lives a little bit. It's not that I'm, and please don't get me wrong, I don't sit down with them on a couch and talk to them. I see, my average patient visit is less than 5 minutes. So, but I try to see what's going on with this person in front of me, and a lot of times it's something very simple that's going on in their lives that if you just mention it or address it somehow, or that your adjustment's going to last twice as long, or you won't subluxate in that area anymore because we dealt with the cause.
Yeah, I think I've heard it said over and over that it's called the above atlas subluxation.
The above atlas, yeah, very good, very good.
Yeah,
so we do a lot of that.
And most people think that the only way that a person can be out of alignment or have a subluxation is through a physical type of injury. But a lot of times people, like you're saying, they represent a subluxation based on a mental impulse that is over time, it never gets corrected, and it causes some type of a physical dysfunction or distortion or tension pattern that people don't know why they actually got hurt the way that they are and why they're expressing symptoms the way they are, because they've never been able to have anybody ever tell them that the mind controls the body too.
Exactly. And nowadays, everybody's wearing masks and this whole thing, and you're afraid to get within 2 feet of somebody because God forbid something might jump on me and make me sick. But honestly, it's if you believe that you are weak, guess what happens? You're weak. If you believe that I'm going to get sick from when this person coughed in my general direction, I shall cough in your general direction and make you sick. Then guess what? I will get sick. So it's part of, and like they said, part of being a chiropractor is teaching, is being a part of being a doctor is teacher. You got to teach people how to think the right way to not make themselves worse. And then, of course, then you have the people that just they're sick because they want attention, and but we're not going to go into that.
Well, maybe you can tell us some ways that you market yourself, and maybe tell us some marketing that failed in the past and what you learned from it.
Yeah, I saw those questions. The most horrific waste of money that I have been a part of were billboards. I think I was working with a group back then, but I remember we blanketed the city. I think we had, and it's a medium size. It's like a city of 60,000 people. We blanketed the city with 9 or 10 prime billboards. Hey, we're opening. Everything. It's amazing, huge billboards. We have one person come in from all those billboards over 6 months, which is a ridiculous. Oh my gosh, what the kind of vacation you could have taken on that money? Oh my gosh. So that's just a ridiculous waste of money. Another thing that I did when I was starting out, newspaper, and again, I guess that would work for somebody, but I think these are different times, and back when I started, everyone was telling me how I had to be in the yellow pages, and I even back then I was like, the yellow pages, number one, are too expensive, and number two, I think they're on their way out, and sure enough, but that's where all the doctors would I remember I took a call from the yellow page rep, and our ad was going to be something like 35,000 for not a whole page ad. It was just it's a little ad, and I was like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So what I do, I will, as far as marketing now, I don't I guess it's mostly word of mouth. Again, I've been in the same location for 15 years. I mean, not the same location, same city, 15 years. People know me. I have a fairly good reputation, and I'm proud of that. And I'll tell people, it's like, okay, they'll ask, like, just ask somebody, and if they're like, well, I don't know, ask around. Our name will come up, and I'm very confident that our name will come up in a positive light. And that's really all we do. I'll run maybe some. If you search for, maybe I'll come in. I'll pay for a Google Maps listing or something, but nothing big.
So let me ask you. You've come from like the old school marketing, billboards, yellow pages, newspapers, yes, which I think is a lot of the, really good, vital discussion for people to know. But now we've evolved today, and I call that old school marketing. What are you doing in the new school marketing worlds?
Well, I mean, I have run some Facebook ads, but you got to realize I have a full practice. I have, I see chiropractic marketers calling me left and right, and do you need more patients? Could you like right now? It's wow, how am I going to see? If you knew the numbers that we get about 80 calls a day, just phone calls. Not necessarily. I mean, some are they're. I started tracking the number of phone calls that we get, so I think that's fairly good. As far as for somebody starting out, I think even though there's all these and I'm going to sound like a really old guy here. There's all these newfangled marketing methods, But Facebook is just today's billboard, and Google Ads is just the yellow pages of today. There's something to be said about getting out there and talking to people and putting your hands on people, because that's when I started. That's what really got people in the door. And when you what we would do a little questionnaire, and then like a little mini massage, and I would actually sit there and kind of rub on the little spots that were bugging them, and I would just do my chiropractic. You see, this is affecting also. Not only does it hurt here, but you probably have headaches, don't you? Like, oh my gosh, how do you know? You're amazing. No, see, already they think I'm amazing. I'll just something very obvious to us, to any chiropractor, and I would go a little bit further down. Like, do you feel this spot right there? Are you having digestive issues? You're a genius. I'm not a genius. I'm just a chiropractor. But if I'll be a genius for you if you come into my office. And that's and another thing that's very whenever you're doing a screening or something like that in person, a lot of people they forget what the goal is. The goal is not to sell them on chiropractic for life at that time. Just get in. I want you to come to my office. That's all I want. Set the appointment and get them to come in your office. And just like like every marketing piece has to have a goal. And this. You're the guy. I just want I want to lead to walk in my office. Okay. Then once they're in my office, then my goal is for them to sign up for a plan of care. And then after that, my goal is to get them for lifetime care. And that's it. Are they going to, no one's going to buy lifetime care on their first visit. Just, because you probably don't know anything about chiropractic. Why would I need to sign up for lifetime care right now when all, my lower back hurts? That's it. Once you fix it, I'll see you. But over time, if you plant a seed in them, then you can talk about that lifetime care. And again, I don't sign people up for long-term plans. If you want to be with us, it's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. My practice is the least stressful practice right now than it's ever been.
Well, I just want to dovetail off something you said there. And I did do a lot of chiropractic screening events. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that anybody that listens this deep into our conversation is going to get some good takeaways, because I would tell them, come in for your first visit. You can talk to our doctor about anything that's going on with your health. We'll do a full exam. We'll tell you what we found. We'll tell you how much concern there is. We'll tell you how we can help you. I call these first 2 visits the great relationship builder. If you like us, you think we're a good fit, you'll stick with us. And I said, by the way, it's our job to earn your business. And if you think that we're going to be able to give you the care that you're looking for, then you'll build that relationship with our doctor and you'll stick around. If you don't, you come in for these first 2 visits, what you're going to walk away with is going to be amazing anyways. You're going to know more about your body and the condition you came in with than anybody else will ever tell you. So what day is best for you to come in and see us?
There you go. You've done this once or twice before, haven't you? Yeah.
But, it's our job to earn their business. And it's not our job to thump them over the head with a green book and say, this is why you need to come in for the rest of your life.
Exactly. And that's, when our first visit is designed, you talk about 2 visits. It is designed that way. You come in for you pay for your first visit, and your follow-up is included. We don't say it's free, but it's included. So that way I have 2 times to blow your mind. Okay. Because I remember reading, I think it was Guerrilla Marketing. It said, you will tell, if you have a good experience, you'll tell 4 people. Oops, I'm losing my headphone. If you have a good experience, you'll tell 4 people. If you had a bad experience, you'll tell 9 people. But if you have an amazing experience, you'll tell everybody. everybody that will come to you. So what I want to do is I want you to have an amazing experience every single time you come in. I mean, at least for the first 2 visits, because if you have an amazing visit, guess what? You're gonna, your wife and family are next, and then everybody is going to be in here. So it was designed that way, and I do everything. I try to explain everything step by step, so that I want your mind to be blown. I want you to go, I want to mess up whatever your preconceptions were about what we do and about healthcare in general, really.
So what would be some advice that you would give to a chiropractic student who might be listening? And do you think they should pick their schools based on how far away the school is?
Do not pick the school based on, I lucked out. I really did luck out, because I think I felt I went to the right school. But there are some great schools, and there are some schools that will turn you into just a glorified physical therapist. And it's not that I have anything against physical therapy, which I probably do. But if you don't have the basics, listen, if you don't think you're going to see a miracle, if you're going to fix a miracle, you're not going to fix a miracle. That's, I don't care if you're doing hole-in-one adjustments. If you don't think they work, they're not going to work. And one of the things when somebody comes into me with a difficult case, I have to see them well. I have to see them healthy. And once I do, I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can get them there. So if you don't think, without the core belief, you're just moving a bone here and there, and that's it. Maybe you get lucky every now and then, and clear a subluxation, but I don't think you're doing much.
I love this interview with you today. I thank you for being so candid with us. And no, it's important, for me, we're getting a lot of great information, and our chiropractic IQs are off the radars when it comes to knowing the profession from inside and outside. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And all I really want to see is the profession going in a good direction where we have good leadership in place, and that people remember the historical resonance of the profession and are proud of that. And the Palmers did a great deal to create a profession for what you know it to be today and what we know it to be today. And I'm a lifetime guy. I want to go get checked and adjusted as necessary once a week for the rest of my life. And I would hope that
is there any other way? There is. Really, if you ask me, I'm like, wow, it's been 3 weeks since I got adjusted. Oh, I really got to get in. It's part of my life. And I think if that was part of everybody's life, oh my gosh, the whole country would change. I think we spend a third of our whole budget on healthcare. Imagine if everybody was healthy. That'd be crazy.
Well, crazy in a good way.
Yeah.
It would be astounding to see what would happen to
It would be fantastic. We could actually fix the problems that we don't have money to fix right now, because all our money is getting sucked in the black hole of lousy healthcare.
Yeah, and that's not something that's not something we really want to be known for, is a country that spends a lot of money and people aren't healthy. That's not what you want.
We spend more money than any other country on healthcare, and we are. And you know how far down. I don't know the latest statistics, but we're not out of the. I think we're dead last as far as the industrialized advanced countries. I believe.
Well, it's because we're feeding our people, our citizens, stuff that's not food.
Exactly.
And that's where it starts. And
that's where it starts, but that's not the only place. You've been working on this for a while, and you've been brainwashing people little by little to believe that their body is weak and incapable of healing itself. When we know that we are amazing. The human race has been here for thousands of years, and all of a sudden now we're very, very delicate. No,
Well, it's like taking everybody that graduated from Harvard and saying, hey, by the way, you're just going to get a minimum wage job when you get this degree.
Yeah.
Like no one would go to Harvard anymore. Okay. So
exactly.
It's like saying, hey, we're going to spend the most out of any industrialized nation on healthcare, but yet we're going to finish dead last in health. Okay. Wink, wink.
I didn't know where you were going with that analogy, by the way, at the beginning. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure.
So as we come towards the edge of this interview, why don't you share with us, what do you like to do for fun? What do you read? What do you listen to?
I wish I read more, but I like I will read some Eastern philosophy books, stuff that's out there. I enjoy that. Quantum stuff. I enjoy all that stuff. As far as reading for any other, like for pleasure, I don't. I'd rather watch a movie any day. So I am very much into movies. My girls are out of the house for the most part. So that's movies are my life right now.
What's your favorite movie?
Wow, Raising Arizona.
Okay.
See, I know what my favorite movie is, and yeah.
It's a Coen brother classic.
It's and yes, Coen brothers. So I like quirky humor, but I will pretty much watch everything, and I give everything a fair shake. Just like, okay, let's power through this. I even watch foreign movies, all kinds.
What are some websites where people can go to learn more about you?
About me,
DannyDeReuter.com is my general site. I guess my personality. Somebody told me I had to do that, so I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But my office is naturallifedalton.com. That's all about my practice and how we run it there. And I have some other informational sites. But if you go to the main one, DannyDeReuter.com, because if you're in my area and you need a chiropractor, visit naturallifedalton.com. But if not, then just go visit DannyDeReuter.com, and it tells you all about me. Follow me on social media. I am pretty much everywhere. I'm not selling anything, so and I'm willing to help. With I have 23 years experience. If you got questions, I want to help other chiropractors out. And yeah, I don't want you to go through the same stuff that I had to do, because it was rough, man. It was rough getting started. So I would love to help new chiropractors get started. So I'm all over social media. So look for me.
Well, Dr. Danny, it's quite a pleasure having you on our show today. I really enjoyed this interview with you today. It was a lot of fun. I like your personality. I think we mesh really well together. I feel like you're an older brother to me.
Yeah.
I feel like your little punk little brother cracking jokes at you.
Well, thank you for being our guest today, Dr. Danny.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun.
This was fun. Yeah. And we just really want you to enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and hopefully we'll connect with you in Chattanooga one of these days.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. I'll see you on the next social media platform soon.
Woo!
See you, Dr. Danny.
We'll see you.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.